Schubert NVMP changeover optimization. At the beginning of the year, for my Capstone project, Lynn and I sat down to discuss what different problems we're having in the factory. She recommended that I choose something that I know, which would be the Schubert packaging operation. And I agreed. I was new to retorts at the time. So we started looking at issues that we're having down there, and the NVMP changeovers is what we decided to try to tackle. The purpose of the project, the overall goal, is to reduce the amount of time it takes to change the Schubert packaging line from single type to NVMP, or vice versa, to be less than 25 minutes. Hurdles to success. The first one is training. We identified training because there was a lack of proper training. Each team done it in a different way. The next would be people management. Were the right people coming down there to help? Was help necessary? Was help needed? We weren't really sure. Lack of a common goal. On some teams, 50 minutes to an hour was considered acceptable. And on other teams, of course, it'd be less than half that time. And motivation, or lack thereof. One of the first things that I noticed when I entered the department was sit down there and find that some operators obviously had a large sense of urgency to get the job done, and others lacked that urgency.
So how do you identify?
Well, we went down there and we talked to the operators, watched, and most of the operators, our average time and goal at the time was under 6 months, or time and roll was under 6 months. So some of the operators didn't really have the training. It was all fly by wire, basically, or fly by the seat of their pants. Just kind of learning as they go. The problems that we identified were drive. That was one of the first things that we noticed right off the bat. Some operators who had the idea to get it done, had the drive to get it done. Others did not. New operators. It was the time and roll at the time that I surveyed the operators was less than 6 months. The talent gap. With the addition of line 3, we actually lost a lot of the, old school operators, the guys that have been down there for a while. And then manager/lead buy-in, because if they don't give us the tools or the resources that we need to get it done, it's not going to be a success in the first place. All right, my research methods would be, first I had a small questionnaire that we completed in Q1 of this year through February and March. I talked to all 8 operators on all 4 teams and their leads. Next, personal knowledge of the process. I had over 2 years time and roll down there, so I understood what the process is and how it needed to be done and what should be expected of them. And then my current role is a training lead, going down there and actually retraining some of the operators. The risks for the project are very minimal. Questionnaire, sorry. How do you currently complete the NVMP changeover process? What do you like about the current method? Would it be better if you and another trained operator were to complete the changeover process together? The target is 25 minutes. Do you think that is a reasonable amount of time or not? And any other thoughts on how to improve the question? I left that one open just for any other interpretation.
Good one on any other thoughts?
We did have a couple of different thoughts. One was not adapt the tools to where they could do both. That was crazy, Mary. So I really didn't think that was going to happen. Almost all the operators said the same thing. The main thing that could cut down their time is they had someone else down there with them, a trained operator to help them. The next slide actually has their answers.
Okay, I was going to ask if you had any surprises
Yeah.
come out of your question.
All but 2 of the operators who responded said that they currently do not receive any help. The only team that actually, this team, was the only team that actually used Logan to kind of help, still does help them through the changeover process, and they were the only team that actually got help nearly every time. No one likes the current process. They decided the conclusion was it's slow and cumbersome. What makes it slow and cumbersome is you have to change out nearly every tool on the machine, on the packer side of the machine, and it is slow and cumbersome. And all the associates thought that the goal of 25 minutes was reasonable, but only if they had help. And that was the key thing that kept coming up. Is the main thing they wanted was an extra operator to help them in the process. That was like resounding. Almost everybody said.
Quick question on that 25 minutes.
Mhm.
Is that for just changing the tooling, or is that changing the
That's-
tooling plus any adjustments that
That's
need to be
last
made?
box to first box.
Okay.
So the record, I guess you could say, was Chris McCoy and I got. We used to be able to do it in under 20, around 19 minutes. Depending on, and the 25 minutes is a little bit flexible with the rework function we have now. Sometimes it'll actually go over that, just trying to rework half a cube, which is still better than scrapping it. I've been down there a few times now, and I've timed almost every team. And almost every team I've timed has been able to get it done in 25 minutes, or right at. And so it turned out to be a really good goal. But the main thing that we come up with is no one really had an idea of what a goal should be or what the goal was. And so go to the next slide. It should be, yeah, okay. The risks of using two associates. Very minimal. I mean, we're just talking about changing the procedure. Is all we're doing. Two associates should be safer and quicker. The cost would only be the cost of backfilling the position of whoever trained them, which turned out to be me. So the cost of a little bit of overtime for a training associate. So not really a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. All right, steps to success. Common goal of 25 minutes. That was the first thing. Manager sign off. That actually turned out to be, I figured it would be a lot harder than what it was. All the managers decided it was a good idea, which by now, of course, Schubert's in the spotlight and they wanted to decrease it down. Retrain the associates on the new procedure, which has been completed, and hopefully we're reaping a little bit of gains out of it.
With training the associates, are these the operators that are in the Schubert area, or
These are operators in the Schubert area. What we wanted to do is two trained associates. So whether it be the relief operator.
That was kind of where I was going with my
Whether it be the
question.
relief operator or the other Schubert operator. If we have to use someone else, what we'd like to do is take the material handler or whoever who has a small idea of how to run the machine to operate like line one that's already running. They continue running that machine and take the line one operator helps the line two operator do the process. That way you have two trained operators. If you have to use someone else, put them on the machine that's not changing over. And implement the procedure. Obviously. Last thing, enjoy the decreased downtime, which hopefully it's making a little bit of difference. I know it has on some teams. The issue we run into right now is like last night, for instance, they done the changeover. It was Cody. He asked for assistance. He had no one show up. Steffer wasn't here. The relief operator was busy, and they were just really short-handed. So the changeover ended up taking almost 45 minutes to get it done and get it done right. So I mean, there's still hiccups in the way, and when I asked Cody, I was like, well, what was the supervisor doing? Did he not come give you a hand or try to find somebody or move somebody around? And he didn't really want to ask and push the issue. I said, well, as long as you document what happened, because before long we're going to post these goals, hopefully. And when we post these goals, and you know what you're being held accountable for, you should, if you don't meet your goal, you need to have some type of excuse that, or not an excuse, but accountability. What happened to keep you from reaching your goal? And if it's the supervisor didn't give you what you needed, that needs to be noted. I mean, I think that's a good thing. That's what I've been trying to tell the operator. All right, why change things? Increase safety. The tools weighs over, I think the heaviest tool down there weighs 35 kgs, and it's awkward. And putting it into the back of the machine can be very awkward, even with two people. It's kind of awkward. The risks for this changeover are almost non-existent, or the change almost non-existent. You're using two people, you're increasing safety, and should be increasing your productivity. The benefits are cross-functional, so you have safety, you have increased production, and you have the last one, which will be, the sense of urgency. If you have someone there willing to help you, you're more than likely going to try to get it done a little bit quicker. Decrease downtime. That's the main thing. That's what we're all after. Our big goal is to try to decrease the downtime in Schubert. Why not? Just get it done. All right, thank you guys.
I'll have another question. question.
Sorry?
You mentioned we're trying to get the time down to that goal
Right.
of 25 minutes. What do you know what we were running before for a setup
45 to
time?
50 minutes.
Okay, so it's almost double.
Yes. I'll actually send you my full project report after this, and it's mentioned in there. But yeah, it was almost 50 minutes. It's in most cases 45 to 50 minutes. Usually one operator.
Do you know?
How do they all kind of respond to it?
It's been very positive. The hurdle now is actually getting them to ask for help. I guess they're a stubborn bunch, but in some cases.
35 kg piece of tooling, I'd be the first one asking for
No,
help.
that's a lot of it. Like, people like Mary are a lot quicker
Yeah,
to ask for help with it.
because physically it's going to be a heck of a lot harder for her.
Right. Which I actually do a real good job of BG. That's how they do it. Is they put a material handler running that machine, and Chris goes and helps her, and they get done well under 25 minutes in most cases.
All right.
So,
On the flip side, is Chris likely to ask Mary for help when it's his turn for a changeover?
most of the time, yes, Darren or Gary. Because Gary moves to what the shooter says.
Okay, but he does ask for help.
He does ask for help, or and on the other side of that, on some teams there's a little bit more, I guess, awareness of when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. So, like Logan and Gary both have a lot of shooter experience, so they know pretty soon it's going to happen. Normally they're real good about an extra operator or somebody down there going down themselves.
That's a good thing when they know the changeover is coming.
Last night I'm hoping was just a fluke that no one showed up. Or he couldn't. They said they wanted to send that maintenance person down there to help, but that person didn't show up. Cody said, and I was like, well, did you ask again? He didn't write it and push the issue. I just want to get it done. That's unfortunate, but we got it done. You're not hurt. That's really nice.
Understand. Good job.
Thank you.
Very nice.